Once upon a time, in a lush green forest, there lived a parrot named Pico. Pico was a vibrant and joyful bird, with feathers as green as the forest leaves and a voice that could sing the sweetest melodies. He lived in a tree high up, where the sunlight filtered through the leaves, creating a warm, golden glow in his cozy little nest. Pico was a proud father, and his mate Maya had recently laid an egg. The egg, a beautiful shade of pale blue, held the promise of a new life. Pico and Maya would take turns keeping the egg warm, guarding it against the dangers of the world. Their love for each other was as deep as the forest itself, and together they dreamed of the day their chick would hatch. Days passed, and the egg began to crack. It was a thrilling moment, one that Pico had been eagerly awaiting. With each passing hour, the crack grew wider, until finally the tiny chick inside began to break free. Pico's heart swelled with joy as he saw the little chick emerge, covered in soft, fuzzy feathers. The chick chirped weakly, looking up at Pico with innocent eyes. It was the most precious sight Pico had ever seen. He chirped back, promising to protect it with all his heart. But life in the forest was not always kind. One fateful evening, as the sun began to set, dark clouds gathered above. A fierce storm approached, and the winds howled through the trees. Maya was out foraging for food, and Pico, desperate to keep his chick safe, flapped his wings and tried to shield the nest from the storm. The little chick huddled close to its father, shivering from the cold. The rain came pouring down in torrents, and the winds grew stronger, bending the trees. In the chaos of the storm, a sudden gust of wind struck the tree, knocking Pico off balance. With a cry, he tumbled from the branch and fell into the forest below. When the storm cleared, Pico struggled to regain his footing, but his wings were injured. He couldn't fly. His heart raced with panic as he realized what had happened. He needed to get back to his chick, but he was too weak. Meanwhile, in the nest, the little chick was alone. It chirped loudly, its tiny voice echoing through the empty forest, but there was no reply. The poor chick, not yet strong enough to leave the nest, sat there shivering and hungry. Hours passed, and Pico, exhausted and hurt, finally managed to climb back up the tree, his wings barely able to support him. But when he reached the nest, it was too late. His precious chick had stopped chirping. Pico perched beside the lifeless body of his chick, feeling an overwhelming sense of loss and regret. The forest, once full of life and song, now felt empty. Pico stayed with his chick for a long time, mourning the innocence lost, the future that would never be. The story of Pico and his chick spread through the forest, and the other creatures whispered of the tragedy. The wind carried the tale through the trees, a sad reminder of the fragility of life and the strength of a parent's love. And so Pico learned that sometimes even the fiercest love can't protect those we cherish from the cruel hand of fate. Yet even in his sorrow, he sang the sweetest songs, for in every note there was a memory of his innocent chick, forever etched in his heart, a poignant reminder of how fragile life can be, and how much love and loss can shape the soul.